Musicals were never really my thing. I saw it on Netflix, but I passed. 'Cause this is what I see when I think musical. And I couldn't have been more wrong. So RRR is technically a musical, but there are only two song and dance musical scenes in the entire film. One of them is at the very end of the movie. After the movie, but before the end credits, there's a dance number with the two stars of the movie and the director of the movie kind of just having fun with things. And the other scene is in the middle of the movie. And it's basically putting a spotlight on the conflict between this rich British colonizer and some of the Indian people who work for him or just happen to be around him. And I actually really like this scene because it's super charged with all this energy. And that energy actually has nothing to do with the fact that it's like speed ramped dance moves, speed things up, slow them way down, speed them up again. Where the energy actually comes from is the tension between the British imperial colonizers and the Indian people. And that's going to be a through line across the entire film. So just under the surface of every story in this movie is this tension and energy, and it seeps and bleeds into everything. And one of the places that you feel that the most is with the two main characters of this movie. Now, the movie actually starts by giving us context to who these two men are. First, we are introduced to Raju. He's something of a soldier slash police officer for the British, and he gets immediately tasked with taking into custody this man who's in this huge crowd of people who are violently protesting the British occupation. But he goes out there, he arrests the man and brings him back to the camp. It's pretty bananas what he does. Then you have Beam, and we're introduced to him in the jungle. He's got like a Tarzan vibe kind of going, but he is basically bait to catch this wolf, which is really important to the movie later. We don't understand why they're trying to catch this animal now, but it's important later. While running from this wolf, a Bengal tiger takes the wolf out of nowhere, and now he's being chased by this tiger with the intent of, well, we didn't get the wolf, we might as well get the tiger. It's actually better to get, but also a bonkers action scene. And this is the kind of action you're going to be in for with this movie. And it establishes both of our main characters as basically superheroes. They're physically more capable than most people. And they also have the tenacity to never give in no matter the consequence. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. How in the hell am I fine with this kind of action, but be so triggered by Rey defeating Palpatine's royal guard? So I'm gonna tell you the difference. Movies are all about suspension of disbelief. For me, the only way that works is if you establish the world and the rules within it. And if you keep your characters inside those rules, it never pulls me out of the film where I go, wait a second, how did that happen? I'll give you an example. Guardians of the Galaxy right up front tells you there are many other planets with many different forms of life. So I am fine with a talking raccoon and a sentient tree because I understand those to be other forms of life. This movie does the same thing. They're setting up that these guys are not normal people. They're gonna do incredible things. Where Rey kind of lost me in Star Wars. My understanding of those films was that even if you're Darth Vader powerful, it takes years of training to be able to control that power. Also takes years of training with a sword to be a great sword fighter. And right from The Force Awakens, she was kind of a Mary Sue, right? And if you don't know what that means, I think the technical definition is something along the lines of like unrealistically without flaws or overpowered, something like that. I could look it up, I'm not going to. And I like Rey's character just fine. It's a minor gripe to me that she is powerful the way she is. I still enjoyed the Star Wars films, even though that's a criticism I have. But that is my take on suspension of disbelief in movies. So what is the story of RRR? Yes, it's basically about colonization and how unhappy the people there are. But the main focus of this movie is on the two main characters who actually become best friends. And the craziest thing about that is that they're actually on different sides of this war or revolution, whatever you want to call it. And the way they meet is by saving this little boy. And he's actually stuck on like a lake or a river in the middle of an oil fire because a train had just crashed on a bridge and spilled oil everywhere and it caught on fire. And anyway, so through this like mid-90s kind of action scene, the two heroes actually save this kid. It's really remarkable. And the action in this movie is just tons of fun. I can't say it enough. But they recognize right there greatness in each other. And they start hanging out. And we go through this montage scene of them becoming the best of friends who have ever been best friends. And the whole time you're thinking, wait a second, Raju is technically hunting Beam. And Beam hates the British for taking his baby sister forcibly away from his family. It's actually a super heartbreaking scene. His mom tries to stop the car and the soldier gets out and they make a point of how little Indians are actually worth and he beats her over the head with a branch. But these two guys couldn't be on further ends of the spectrum here. And now they're becoming best friends unknowing to each other. And this is what you're thinking the whole time. What if they find out who each other are? What's gonna happen? And during this scene, you start to realize the music being played is singing exactly what you're thinking. It's singing the words something like, oh, they became best friends and is there gonna be bloodshed? And you catch it and you kind of smile like, how cheeky. Anyway, it's just something I liked about the movie. So without giving some crazy spoilers, my favorite thing about this movie and why I liked it the most was the decisions the two main characters have to make live in like that gray space where there's no right or wrong decision. It's just if you choose this person's gonna suffer. And if you choose that, then this person's gonna suffer. Or if you choose something else, you're sacrificing everything you wanted. And the two actors who play the main characters are really, really good actors. If I had to like compare them to something, which really something I don't like to do, but I'm gonna do it here because they did kind of give me some vibes and I think it's something worth mentioning, is the guy who plays Beam in this movie has like a Gerard Butler raw savageness to him. And the guy who plays Raju is something kind of like George Clooney if you went back 15 years, had him put on 20 pounds of muscle and become a Marvel style character. He's got that slick sophistication to him. I think most people are going to really like these actors. So look, if you like over-the-top action like that mid-90s era, I don't know, Terminator style or Last Action Hero style, but maybe even a little more over-the-top than those. If you like that kind of action, you're gonna like this movie. There is even like a 30-minute love scene in there that one of the characters kind of falls in love. It's really well done. I enjoyed that part of it too. And the drama parts of it are intense and they hurt. They're painful. And by the end of this movie, it is a very satisfying story. RRR definitely can make a strong argument for best movie this year. So don't be like me. When I was told that I need to see this movie, I saw it on Netflix. I saw it was 3 hours and I was like, nope. Also saw that it was an Indian film. My experience with Indian cinema, song and dance musical, it's just not my thing. But I took a chance. I really, really, really like this movie. And I think if you take a chance, you'll like it too. All right, that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.